So today, we're going to be talking about character and character building and how our character forms over time, whether we know it or not. Something is influencing our character, and um, let me see if anyone has joined in. Okay, not yet. But yeah, I'll just do a quick intro while I wait for others to join. Um, I remember I'll start with the story of when I was much younger, and I had taken back then. It's so 500 naira. It was a big, it was a big amount. This was early 2000s. I had taken that from my mom's, um, like what I call it, like money jar. She used to sell medications at home because she's a trained pharmacist. So at home we usually sell like uh, medications from home. So we had people coming in, buying, and all of that. So even we as kids, we used to sell. We used to help her with that, and we had like a jar where we usually put the money. And but that Sunday, I don't know. I'll just say it's the devil, but uh, I took 500 naira from that, and myself, my immediate younger sister, and then two of our friends that were across from. They used to live across from where we were before, like while we are growing up. We went to buy like just crazy things, snacks from. There was this caramel candy I really loved. It was called Goody Goody. I don't know if they still make it. I hope so. It was so nice. It's like a chewy caramel candy. We bought that. We bought peanut burgers. We bought Capri Sun. We bought almost everything you can think of. Like it was 500 naira. Just think of 500 naira in the early 2000s. It was a big deal. So like going there, I made sure I spent everything so there's no change, so that my mom will not find out. And as we're coming back, guess what? We're coming back with the big bag. We used to call it Santana leather. Is that there's this black bag that has like A to Z on it with fish, A for this, F for fish, this. That big bag. My mom was coming back. We just as so there is this intersection. As we were coming from, the place was called, that part was called JS. We lived in B. She was coming this way from outside of the gate, like it was like a quarters. And as she was coming, just before she turned into our street, that was the exact time we were just busting out of there was like a what do they call the name? A cathedral. Yes, there was a cathedral right there. That was the right in between, like in the intersection. As soon as she saw us, she already knew. Like she could even sense it. As soon as we got home, just was to go inside. Like we had distributed the things, shared it, tried to hide it, do this, do that. As soon as we got home, she just told me and my younger sister to kneel down. She didn't even bother about the other children. She told them to go home. She told us to kneel down. Then there were these little stools that we used to sit on to eat. Then she told us to put it on our head. Oh my God. We were there. We were shaking. Then my mom released my younger sister. Me, I was there because I was the older one. And then I was now even the one that stole the money. Long story short, after that day, I never stole in my life. Ever. Like, no matter what is so tasty, it's not that tasty for punishment. So that, like, growing up, I would say I just knew I shouldn't steal because I'll get punished, right? And then I became bigger, and now I know that it's because of, you don't steal because you're taking from someone else's stuff. It's for integrity's sake. And so you also don't. Oh, I see someone came in. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, we're just talking about character and character building and how to like shape your character over time. because whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not, your character is being influenced by the world around us, the people around us, what we do, what we read. Yeah, the information we feed it. Um, so I was just sharing a story, a quick story. After the replay, you can go and listen to it. It's a very interesting one. But that was in terms of not stealing now, like in terms of integrity. That was a big one for me because then I just knew that it wasn't right. You can't take what belongs to someone else without asking like proper permission. And especially when it had to do with something like that, like money. Because if that was outside, I would have gotten a serious beating. So hopefully, like not hopefully, but I'm hoping we can join in on the conversation. I miss Nehemiah in this conversation already. Uh, hello, hello, welcome. Where are you joining us from? If you can just write it in the chat, that would be nice. And in terms of character, I feel like that's like a major part where people are not focusing on in parenting and all of that. Like people are not intentional about unconsciously. Um, we're just not intentional about ensuring that the people around us, especially when they're younger, much younger, they actually know the whys. Why do you have to say that? Why do I have to say the truth? Why don't why shouldn't why am I not allowed to steal? Do you get like, oh, why shouldn't I fight? Things like that, simple things like that. Like when I believe that when people know the whys, it helps shape what they now take on as a value. Do you get? So because the thing with character is, see how I learned that from my mom now, a big deal of not stealing, right? She didn't have to say, oh, don't steal or don't do this. My actions, it's got consequences at the end, which in turn gave me a quick reset. Do you understand that this is wrong? But also the inaction, so it can be modeled in the sense that watching my parents now, how they go about how they go about their life, do their work, the diligence they put into their work and all of that, how they continually improve themselves and be better, like all of that, right? And family building, how they like they are very intentional about that. All those things I learned them, I picked them up. Do you get? But also the things that were not modeled, the things that, so it's two way. The thing that's modeled and the thing that's not modeled. And that's why I believe that parenting is so important, like more than ever before. People need to be more intentional. We as parents, we need to be more intentional about telling our children why. Even if your child never steals, it would be nice that they have a conversation. Let's say during the morning devotion and you're sharing that, okay, because that like I feel like that's one big thing my mom did. Every time she shares stories of, okay, people that did something that was not acceptable and how it turned out. Oh, when she was in uni, this particular person that uh let's say they cheated in an exam and they were sent out, and then that's how their life got ruined. Someone in the barracks, because she grew up in the barracks, that let's say always fought other people, was always fighting, how their life is right now, that they didn't go far. Like that alone would tell you that, okay, it means that there's something bad about this, so I shouldn't do it. Do you understand? And she shares stories of, okay, people that fought and then they mistakenly killed someone just in the heat of the moment. So automatically you just know that, okay, there's so much danger in fighting. I will never fight. I think that's one thing I hate. I've never, never in my life would I ever fight anyone. And so it's that sometimes it's modeled like that, where through stories, through your parents' lifestyle, their life, and all of that. And the other part is where it's not modeled at all, right? And that's the most dangerous part. Because when it's not modeled, when it's not talked about, when nothing is being said about, like just the lack of it, is that it's such a gray area for anybody that by the time they're where other people, where people they don't know, people they are not accountable to, they are not there, they do and undo, right? And then I think of the time when, because one thing I always think of is like, who true character is who you are when the people that you care about the most, that you care about what they think of you, and the people that you are accountable to, like your parents, your spiritual leaders, your mentors, when they're not watching, in that your secret place where nobody's watching you, whatever it is you portray, that's truly who you are. And I think it's not, the moment we stop seeing it as like, oh, like I will just keep pretending, I'll keep faking it. Just be sincere with yourself. Whatever it is that comes up, then you have the opportunity to take a different route. Start working on your character. Work on who you truly like, all the values that you want to see in yourself. You can actually start learning how to pick them up. Um, oh, I didn't see. Okay, I'll just, maybe the person is a little shy, but um, if you join in, just say hi. That would be nice. And one thing I just think of is, okay, when I moved away from home for my, like, to further my education, I left Nigeria in 2019, and getting to Canada, oh my God, there I was faced with a lot of options, but without uh, any guardian or like any parents, nobody to say, okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And there were some choices I made, and I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, that's like horrible. Like you, you, like I really, I really overdid that one. And thinking of it now, I just think that, okay, does that mean if I had a parent, I wouldn't have done that? But it, then it does mean that that's truly who I am without the parent being there. Whatever thing I did, whatever things I was doing, that was truly who I was. So it even made me even much more serious about working on myself. Do you get? Because whether I like it or not, I will pass on those things to my children. Whether you like it or not, you will pass on things that you know, things you're saying, whether with your words or in your body language or in your actions, you'll pass it on to your children. Your children will be watching you. They will pick it up. So I think one thing I was just like, there's this, actually, let me give this one first. So my spiritual father was saying that, and if, right, they say all cards why is my phone falling, all cards are off now, like, okay, there's no hell, no heaven, right? Whatever you as a believer you do at that point, that's truly who you are. And then it tells you that you have a big way, a long way to go, because if they remove hell from the option, a lot of believers, you would see the true person in them. So I think beyond like all of this, like this whole conversation is not for us to beat ourselves down. It's really to let us know that at the foundation of every human is an identity, and that identity is linked to our character. So who the world sees, that's all the glamour and everything. That's your reputation. Do you get? And a lot of people do everything to protect their reputation as opposed to their character. So they are truly not honest. They truly know that they cannot tell a single truth, right? And, or let me give an example of somebody that um let's say womanizes, right? But in the place of, like, let's say their church gathering, in their family, they act like, oh, they're like the most the most serious and most spirit cocoa person. But then all cards are taken off the table, and they find themselves in a new place, or they're in a they like, let's say, go out with friends or something, people that technically don't hold them in those regard, and they're doing the worst, like so it's just to tell us that um beyond all of it, what truly gives us that what gives us satisfaction when no one is watching, that's truly who we are. And it makes us really it makes me now, like, I love sitting in silence with myself because it allows me really fish out those things that I need to work on. And one thing with options is that it truly brings out who you are. If you don't have options, let's say if you don't have the option to steal, you there's no money. Like politicians now, they have the option to steal because there's so much money in their like like um at their disposal. But if you don't have that money, that much money at your disposal, you believe that you're not a thief. But wait till you're put in that same position, because that's literally what's happening to us back home in Africa. Is that everybody feels they're not a thief until they get there. Now you are in front of all this money and you're stealing. So is that we need to start testing ourselves to see that, have we passed all these virtues we say we claim to have we passed them through the stress test? That's, you don't have money, you don't have what to eat, you don't have shelter or anything, but you still decide not to steal. That is what true virtue. That's what it really means. That okay, when you say I'm an honest man, I'm an honest like I'm an honest like man or whatever, then we will believe you because in that situation you have been faced with the toughest of the toughest, but you've still decided not to do otherwise. Oh, hi. I see some other people have joined in. If you can let us know where you're joining in from. Hi, hi, hi. And the one question I would say I'll ask first would be, who are you when no one's watching? So if you're watching this as a replay, just sit and really think about it. Just think about it the whole week until you find the answers. Who are you when no one's watching? Who am I when no one's watching? That's truly who you are. If you don't like what you see when no one is watching, it just means you need to spend more time working on yourself. You need to be sincere with yourself. And that's what I would say, because the problem with not telling yourself the truth is that when you're faced with other options, you would do the worst. And yeah, that's not who we are, right? And I'm hoping like we're getting what I'm saying. But um the main focus everybody always looks out for is reputation. How do people see me? Oh, I want to look the best for others, like in terms of um how I arrange myself and being looking like a gentle lady. Am I like calm? Am I like, do you get, like, trying to put out the best, but then on the road when you're driving, you're still the same person that's cursing out. You're cursing out the person that's swiped in your front. You see, so it shows that you're not as gentle as you thought. And it just, rather than faking it, be sincere with yourself that, okay, maybe I need self control here. Maybe I need to learn self control. Maybe I need to learn how to give people more grace, right? And it's easier to actually work on yourself when you're truthful about the things that are not working for you, right? The next question would be, wh- what are you currently protecting? That's in terms of to keep your reputation. Your reputation, I mean, what are you protecting right now? What's that hidden thing you're protecting that no one sees, but you, between you and yourself, you know that, okay, maybe even sometimes the Holy Spirit will like, don't do this one. How about, like, especially if you've been on your journey with God for a while, and you know how God speaks to you, right? There are times that He would actually correct you. He will give you like, okay, you shouldn't do that, right? Oh, you should do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. And one thing I would say is, if let's say you're struggling with pride and God is telling you, okay, this is where it's showing up, but to you, you're like, I'm not proud. I'm not a proud person. Like, you know how like you can almost prove to yourself that you're not proud while being proud. Yeah, that right there is that you can actually say, nah, I'm not proud. See me that I washed the toilet in church yesterday. Meanwhile, you're flocking, you're just like all in it, right? So the story I think of so much is Saul, and how if he told Saul he was a man full of pride, he will never believe it until yeah. But back to what we're talking about is that character can actually be fixed. It's not like you can actually be like you can actually correct it. It's not like a stamp that okay, once you're like this forever. Do you get? Because we think of it like personally now with the story I shared earlier. If my mom had never corrected me, or let's say she knew and she never corrected me, I that would have reinforced that habit of stealing. Because in my mind, I'll feel like okay, maybe it's okay to steal. Do you get? Even if it's not okay, even if she wasn't okay with it, if no one ever told me, okay, it is bad to steal, you are not supposed to steal, I will continue doing it. And I feel that's where most of the problem is that when we don't have accountability, we don't have someone that we are accountable to, that we can actually check ourselves and say, okay, this is not good. This is what I'm working on. This is what is good. This is what's not good. Most times is very hard to live right. And another question I would say you should ask yourself while you're rewatching this video is, what's a moment that tested who you really are? And that moment, rather than just reliving it, pick out the things that you didn't like. Let's say you fought, you got into a fight, right? You injured someone's eyes. Let's say you didn't even injure someone, but you got into a fight, or you got into like a serious argument that you knew you didn't have to go that far, right? If you sit back and say, okay, what can I learn out of this? What do I do better now? Do you get? It helps you over time to build yourself into the person you actually want to be. Especially if you want to if you see yourself becoming a leader in the future, or you see yourself as a leader right now, there is a way a leader should be. And I'm not talking of like how to position or posture yourself. There is a way that you know a leader that is doing something right, in the way they interact with people, in the way they express themselves, in the way they um their actions, they what they do and what they like, especially because as a leader, everyone is watching you. Everybody's watching you. And this even in terms of parenting too. As a mother, as a father, your children are watching you. When you think they don't know that, oh, you are doing whatever you're doing, you're hitting your wife, you're hitting your husband, or that you're at work, you're taking some money that doesn't belong to you. Your children know, they know, and it will make them fight what they believe in, right? So it's to say that in order to make it easier for the people that are looking up to you, your whoever it is, become that person, so that more than your words, right, your actions makes people, it makes people rise up to, like, they want to live right. Do you get? So that's what I wanted to say. I'm just mixing up my my words. I'm surviving on coffee today. I'm so tired. But back to character. Um I'm I the one thing I just think of, the one time I think of mainly is when I was away from home. And I realized that for a lot of people, to a lot of young people, once they're away from all that, the people that hold them accountable, the people that would say, okay, this is wrong, you shouldn't do this, oh, don't stay out this late, things like that, is that we end up doing the most. We end up doing like, yeah. So it's already 24 minutes. So I think I'm going to end the live here for today. Um Hopefully we can come back to this conversation, but we can make it a little more interactive, because lives are supposed to be fun and light. And I feel like I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting here. But it's just to say that this week, um, pick, just look for, think of a moment when you didn't, let's say you didn't express yourself the way you wanted to be, you wanted to, or there was a time when you made a choice that was not right, as opposed to just thinking of that moment. I'm like, oh my god, like really, there was something that led you to do that. If you find out, okay, when you get anxious you lie, watch out for moments like that. It means that you have to now intentionally, even if you have, or the lie has already almost come out of your tongue, you have to like swallow it back in, because the moment you allow yourself to just keep lying, you will just continue, and your brain will just find a way to always find the closest lie. So if, let's say, you don't want to lie anymore, it can be as open as, okay, let's say you just told a lie, and you be like, oh, I'm so sorry, that was actually, I actually did not say the truth there. This is what this is what I actually did. Because the thing is, if you do an if let's say you are not ready to bear the consequences of your actions, and you just want to cover them up with lies, you can't be true to yourself. You cannot live in your true self. There is no way. Your identity will always be false. It will be false. Whether you like it or not, it will be false. Is that you can pretend to be honest, but one day it will be exposed. And that's the thing with reputation. It's You can keep camouflaging it with whatever, with the good looks, the best tailored suit, but the day your character opens up, all of that reputation goes down. Oh my god. That's wild. It's my camera. I should actually try and figure out something for the lives. But it's just to say that you will be exposed one day, which is way worse. And if not even about exposure, think of your Christian walk, your walk with God. How would you want to represent Christ if saying the truth is so hard? If walking in pride is all you think of, God cannot use you. I was in a meeting today, and like our spiritual father was just telling us about like the pitfalls people fall into because of pride. Like it's bad. It can get really worse, where you can even crown yourself. You can keep the crown even when God has moved to another person. And it keeps reminding me of Saul and David. The presence of God had left Saul, but Saul knew the ways of being a king. And here David was just being a shepherd boy, being the most ignored person in his house. Nobody even remembered him. But he could host God's presence. He knew how to host God's presence. And you can't host God's presence if if all you do is the opposite of what he what like it's beyond good morals. That's how I see character. It's beyond good morals. It's who you are as a person, who you are. So this is a challenge. Go back, sit through and look. What are the things that, because personally, even me myself, there's things I'm still working on, right? Currently, I've really been trying to read about uh, how to think analytically, right? In a way that I can have conversations with people, can have arguments, but I don't leave like all like depreciated. I want to leave knowing that, okay, I can have my own truth. Somebody can have their own truth without it being like a tug of war. Do you understand? So that's where I am currently working on. And there are a lot of things that to come. As I notice them, I work on it. So I'll challenge you to work on yourself. Keep building yourself up, because the person you want to become a minister, a leader, a parent, whatever it is, whoever it is you want to become, a CEO, an entrepreneur in whatever form. If your character is not right, it will be hard. You can't go far. And it's the truth. You can't go far. You can make all the money in this world, but in terms of having a solid legacy that you can leave behind for your children, it can't be strong. It cannot. So cheers to all of us that are building ourselves up. Cheers to those that are truly trying to discover who they are and build themselves up. Remember that your character makes up a huge part of your identity. So build it today, okay? See you guys. Bye.